This is the first edition of the Chromecast cast. We registered the domain name chromecastcast.com. So we have a special guest today, somebody that's done some seminal research in the whole area of USB dongles for television, and we're going to be talking to him, and maybe he'll put things in perspective for us about what if this is a new breakthrough or just another Google TV dud. We'll find out today on the Chromecast cast. Go ahead, introduce yourself and tell us who you are and where you are and all that good stuff.
So this is awesome. The Chromecast cast. The Chromecast is gonna be, of course, gigantic. And so my name is Nicolas Charbonnier. I'm a video blogger at armeddevices.net. So at CES 2012. I think it was, yeah, CES 2012. That was just after the beginning of the HDMI stick. The first HDMI stick was shown in October or November 2011, and that's a little spin-off kind of ARM that's based in Norway that was making an HDMI stick, like a small stick like this, with inside the Exynos 4, which is the same processor as in a Galaxy S2, I think. And they put it in an HDMI stick, and it was amazing. Like, I had absolutely no idea that people would start. Basically, you have a full computer in a stick. So the way Google showed it today is just for streaming, supposedly, but this is actually a full desktop computer in there. There's an ARM processor, and it's running Chrome OS. So for now, they have limited Chrome OS, so you don't use a keyboard and a mouse, and you don't like use it as a standalone computer. But in theory, I think Google is going to unlock it, and you can, if you want, if you're a geek, you can like do something. If you just connect a USB host to it, I think maybe it'll unlock. Basically, you have like a Chromebook or like a Chromebox, right? And it's on your TV, and that's I think it's possible in that stick.
Now let's backtrack a little bit. Did you watch today's announcement, and have you been reading all the specs, and do you think you're pretty familiar with their product now?
Yeah. This is well, the specs are slightly secret right now, kind of. You have to kind of guess what it is, but I have a pretty good kind of like guess. I think it's a Chinese ARM processor. I'm kind of guess right now. It might not be true tomorrow, but I think it's the Rockchip quad-core Cortex A9 processor inside. So the processing power is similar to Galaxy S3.
All right, let's get out of the stratosphere for a minute.
Yeah.
Let's bring it down to earth for the people who are just consumers, and let's lay it out for them. You tell us what this device will do for them, the new Google Chromecast.
So I mean, for 50% of the users is going to be for more than that. Let's say 90% of the people who are going to buy this is just going to make it the easiest way to get your videos on a TV. And this is not watching TV. This is watching internet video. So this is about video on demand. This is about watching this live Hangout we're doing on your TV. This is about watching all the YouTube videos on your TV and all the Netflix and all the videos from the web on your TV. And this is going to be the easiest way for 90% of people to do that. And people are not going to use AirPlay anymore. They're not going to use, well, you can still connect with MHL. You can connect your phone to a TV if you want. And but I mean, this is like it's just making it easier to it's actually huge, because video on demand is I have a theory that YouTube is within 2 or 3 years is going to be Google's #1 source of revenue.
All right, just before we get too far along here, I'm just going to interrupt you again. You threw out a couple of geek terms there that I know what they mean, the MHL and the AirPlay, but there's a lot of people here who may not even have a clue as to what those are. So if you could let people know what you are talking about and put those terms into perspective, if you wouldn't mind.
So MHL is like an HDMI output from your phone, but it's coming from a micro USB. and it's full bitrate. So you're getting gigantic amount of data from your phone to the TV. So you get full HD video, no lag, and you can even play very high frame rate video games on your TV. AirPlay is using the Wi-Fi in your home to stream, to compress the data from your phone or from your tablet to the TV. It has to be Apple devices only, but you can actually do AirPlay from Android too. But or you can even use Android too. But that's just like not really official. And then there's a Miracast, which is what Android is mostly using, and which is included on all Android 4.2 devices and above. And that's also using Wi-Fi to do, basically, there's some kind of smart thing going on your phone or in your tablet that compresses what's on the screen and sends it over Wi-Fi. But Wi-Fi is not very, it's very slow, kind of, bandwidth.
All right, I'm going to stop you right there. You say Wi-Fi is slow. Now, does this device only use Wi-Fi? It won't use Ethernet. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, the Chromecast is using Wi-Fi. It might. I think it probably supports Ethernet if you have a micro USB to Ethernet adapter, but that's of course not confirmed at all, and it might not be true. But I think it's quite possible that it could support Ethernet, but you don't really need it. But the trick here is that
wait a minute. You just contradicted yourself. You say you don't really need it, but then a little while ago you said that Wi-Fi was too slow. Now let's reconcile this for the audience here.
So it's too slow if you want to like walk around with your phone at home and try to stream from your phone, which is a battery-powered device, to let's say something like a Chromecast device directly without going through a hotspot at home. A battery-powered device's Wi-Fi is not as powerful as, let's say, huge laptops' Wi-Fi or like a router at home, or like this Chromecast, which is powered by MHL, for example, I think.
All right, I got to stop you there because some people think that you're getting ready to call roto-rooter. And
I don't know what that means.
And it's router in
router.
American speak. Us Americans, we call it the router. And you English people call it the router. So just so we know what you're talking about. So now to simplify it, now correct me if I'm wrong. What you're doing is you're sitting there with your I've got this Samsung here, this Samsung phone, and I can take and pull up the YouTube interface, which is easy to do, and then it's going to show a little symbol in there that if I touch that, it's going to connect it to my TV, but it's not going to go from this Samsung to the TV. It's going to go from the Samsung up to the cloud, up there in the cloud, and then from the cloud it's going to come down. Of course, the cloud isn't really up there. It's out there in a data center somewhere. And now, is that correct?
Exactly.
Can you describe that a little better than I just did?
So, if you would do that with an iPhone on AirPlay, you might get 360p resolution to your AirPlay device because it has to stream from your iPhone directly to the AirPlay receiver over Wi-Fi at home. Well, if you trigger the stream to the Chromecast, it's going to stream the 1080p directly from YouTube server, and it's like the difference between HD TV and the old non-HD TV. It's much better to do it directly from the cloud to like a device like the Chromecast. So that's why it's really great. I mean, it's really going to be, for many people, it's going to be like not just easier but also impressively high quality. And it's going to be, I think, this is good enough for a majority of the public to start using internet video instead of normal TV. And this is why this is quite important. Because
now, Nick, they got an open API on this thing too, right? That means, like you and me, we could start a little company and we could develop an app that ran on this. It would make us $1 million, right?
Yeah, I think those API and SDK that they announce actually are going to enable people to kind of, let's say you have a game and you want people to play that game on a TV, and you might be able to use that SDK somehow to run that game on the Chromestick, on the Chrome. Sorry, I said Chromestick. That's how I called it in the last like 6 or 12 months. But it's a Chromecast device, so because it could run the game on the that Chromecast, so you don't have to run it from your portable device, or you could also stream that from your portable device directly. I don't know if there's Wi-Fi direct support, or if it has to go through your router at home, or if it has to come from the cloud. I mean, there might be a whole bunch of cloud games now that's basically you just launch them from your phone, and it's gonna stream the game from the cloud to your TV.
Now, will we be able to stream Hangouts to our TV using this technology?
I would like to hope so. I mean, maybe what Google is doing is just launching the first device out of many, and there might be one with like a built-in HD webcam that you just put in your TV, so you can have HD Hangouts easily from your TV. Or this one hopefully could support USB webcam, because it has a little micro USB port.
Right.
I can see that in the picture. And that's possibly a USB host. I mean, all the HDMI sticks that are on the market have USB host. So I'm pretty sure this is an HDMI stick, and I'm pretty sure it has a USB host, but maybe Google is blocking it for some reason. I don't know. But I don't think they are. And there's a possibility they sell like for let's say $39, or no, they don't call $9. I really like the price is $35. That's like the first time people are like reasonable with pricing, but they could sell enough.
I just bought 4 of them right before they shut down sales.
That's cool. Yeah, when are you getting them?
I don't know, but I got in before they shut it down, so I didn't get the message that said it's out of stock. My order went through because I did it immediately as soon as they announced it. Or as soon as they opened the site, anyway.
I'm in London, so what you should do is add a category on your website where you can resell them. I'm joking. Maybe not. You don't need to.
No, we wouldn't do anything like that, would we now?
Yeah, you can sell them for $37 and make a profit.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't,
so the HDMI stick is really fascinating. Have you seen the HDMI sticks before?
I've seen them, but you might have some examples there. And,
so I have like 20 HDMI sticks.
You have 20 of those.
Yeah, but I don't have them. I don't think I have them right here, because I'm in London right now, and all my stuff is not in this country.
Well, what's the best competing product that's out there right now to compete with the? I can't imagine anything competing with this, but if you had to name something, what would it be?
So, just to talk, I'm sorry if I talk too much, but just to talk a little bit, like in the beginning of 2012, like around March 2012, the introduction of the A10 base, that was an old winner, which is a Chinese ARM processor based on a Cortex A8, was released, and that's the A10 based HDMI sticks, and those were leading the market for most of 2012. And then since towards the end of 2012, there was a dual-core Rockchip, which is a 3066 processor, which is also an ARM processor from China. That was leading most of the sales, and still leading most of the sales of HDMI sticks. Actually, these HDMI sticks have been selling tens of millions of units out of China since they got released. So it's already big. You know, before there was only tablets that people would talk about, and if I go to Shenzhen like nearly every month, like, which is where they manufacture everything, and they sell many of these. And now the leader, I think, is the quad-core Rockchip platform. So now it's quad-core Cortex A9, and the thing is, out of China, you don't really have brands so much. It's a whole bunch of anonymous small factories, and then they get brands once you sell them in the USA or you sell them in Europe. Then they, at the end, maybe they put some brands, but maybe they don't even put brands on them.
You think there'll be a market for clones of these? You think they'll clone these and sell clones like they sold clones of the PC when the PC first came out? Just to go way back in history. So
those, let's say, I would estimate 50 million HDMI sticks have been sold so far. I think most of them, they're all running Android right now, which is not very useful kind of on the TV, because Android is for a touchscreen device.
Right.
So this, I think, I expect this to be open source like Android, and that all the HDMI stick makers can just take the software now and ship Chromecasts. And not only Google is going to sell them. I mean, Google doesn't need to sell them. They just want to put it out there.
Yeah, they just want their content to get out to more places, don't they?
Yeah, they just want to show. That's kind of like a reference design. It's kind of like a reference stick. And so I think you will have all the Chinese makers making these, and maybe you might have a dual boot. So if you hold the power button in for like, I don't know, 5 seconds, you could boot into Android instead of Chromecast. But if you just push it normally or something like that, you just have Chromecast as a default. That's what I expect. I expect
your name is
Chrome OS and Android.
Your name is Nicholas Charbonnier, spelled Charbonnier. Now, are you a Frenchman, or what nationality are you?
Yeah, I'm half Swiss.
Swiss and half French?
Yeah, I've been going to all the consumer electronics shows since 2004, making lots of videos. And my YouTube is /Charbax. So my YouTube name is Charbax. And you can see
Charbax, Charbax, okay.
I have all these videos from China you can see there. And if you go on my website, armdevices.net, you can click on HDMI stick.
I can actually share that here.
So if you go on armdevices.net, you can click on HDMI stick category on the side, and you'll see all the HDMI stick that ever got released, basically.
Now this is you, Nicholas Charbonnier.
This is when I visited the Google headquarters, and I actually sneaked into the Android building, even though it's locked. You know, you're not supposed to get in. Somebody was getting out. I just walked in, and I played their video games that they have in there. But that was just for 2 minutes.
And you're actually really focused on this because you're writing about Moto X, and you're writing about more about Moto X and.
Yeah, because
that all this kind of stuff.
But the Moto X is also very interesting. They have basically Google is working with Qualcomm. There might be a Qualcomm processor in the Chromecast. I don't know, but I don't think so. But they're working with Qualcomm on the Moto X8, the X8 processor, which is a new ARM processor that Google has kind of customized for their whole bunch of the sensors, which is very interesting topic, and it's gonna be a big topic of discussion for all these smartphones and tablets in the second half of this year, and it's going to be awesome. Basically, no more power button. You just take your smartphone and it's on, because the sensors inside are so low power they can detect what you do like for a whole year on the battery. So it's just on basically all the time now, and ultra low power. So if you go on my website, armdevices.net, you can see there are the profiles.
I'm waiting for it to load. It's slow loading.
So
it just says loading.
So I'm guessing that Google has a Rockchip processor in there, and if it's true, then it'd be cool, because I'm just guessing. But and before the Google I/O, I was posting on my website that I hope that Google would release a Chromestick. That's what I would call them before, Chromestick.
Yeah.
Because the Chromestick, I mean basically the Chromecast, is going to kill the PC, which is a pretty big deal. Like, the desktop computer is dead now. This is replacing the desktop computer. Not quite yet, because Google markets it as only for streaming, but the hardware is there, and potentially this is like there has been a dream for many, many years of people using thin clients where you just have a very basic home computer where you access everything on the cloud. And this is kind of it. You know, you could connect this to a PC monitor at home and connect a keyboard and mouse. It could be wireless. I don't think there's Bluetooth inside, but there's a micro USB, which I think is host, so you could connect like a USB hub and have a mouse and keyboard for $5 more. So for $40, you have a home desktop, just added screen, which is your HDTV, for example.
Still waiting to load here.
Armdevices.net?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Armdevices.net, that's what I get. There it is.
Maybe it's because there's so many people watching this, they're all going on my website at the same time.
That could be.
So on the right there, you can see HDMI stick.
Yeah.
And how many videos are there?
Where does it say?
Towards the right there. The fifth.
Oh, HDMI sticks, 55 it says. Categories,
Yeah,
55.
yeah. So far I only have 55 videos about it, but uh, it's uh,
Well, this is
it's
a super informative website, and I highly recommend that people who want to learn about the subject of ARM devices and these US HDMI sticks, they go here to armdevices.net. And it's
so
got a picture of you how you video blog there. It looks like you've got a heavy-duty video rig, a
yeah.
head-mounted wearable computer, and the whole
Yeah,
deal. So that's
I actually
amazing.
showed the Google Glass to Sergey Brin like 6 months before they announced Google Glass. I was at CES and I had the Copin, which is a micro display maker. They borrowed me a device and I walked around and there was Sergey Brin. He was like, "Whoa, what is that? What are you wearing?" And then he tried my Google Glass for like 20 minutes. And
Wow.
I knew there was some kind of rumors on the internet. I was sure that they were working on it. And the four Google guys, together with Sergey Brin, they're all the Google Glass team. Like the and they were all they were just walking around CES looking what's new. And by random, they just walked. But they saw me at the Samsung booth. I was working around with this augmented reality system, so I could watch a live chat while people can see a live hangout the whole day while I walk around the trade shows. It doesn't really work because there's too much interference at the trade shows.
So do you have Google Glass yet?
I don't have Google Glass yet because I'm European and I don't think they let any Europeans have it. Do they?
Oh, okay, got you, got you.
And it's too expensive.
So now let's get imaginative here. Let's let your imagination run wild. And why don't you throw out some ideas for developers on what they could do with this product? What could be some imaginative ways that this could be used?
So what I think is going to completely destroy TV, and you have to consider that TV advertising is today much bigger than internet advertising. So this is a huge deal for Google. Like TV advertising is trillions and trillions of dollars every year. So what I think is going to destroy old-fashioned TV is when people just sit back in the sofa and you just have a big green button on your smartphone and a big red button. So if something's cool playing on your TV, for example, this Hangout, which is awesome, probably, then you push the green button. You let people know that it's good. It's like a +1. It's a signal, and then the next video should be automatic. I don't think people want to choose a video. I think they just want to get automatic recommendations and just sit back in the sofa and kind of be lazy, which is what most people are when they watch TV, but like some kind of augmented laziness. So think about, well, this is kind of like an application, I guess, in a web service and all that kind of stuff. But you could build that on top of YouTube because YouTube has all the videos. So maybe I'm saying too much. I want to build this myself, but I don't know how to do any programming. That's too bad.
But you're the hardware guy, and you've got the ideas, and you've got the imagination to come up with some very cool apps, I'm sure, don't you, Nicholas?
Yeah, I would like to think so, but I guess that's how. I mean, well, Bill Gates he was programming a little bit, but not so much. I mean, mostly it's the other people that do all that kind of stuff. And Steve Jobs, if you look at Steve Jobs, I don't think he could program, but but the Google founders, they're the only like real technical like bosses at Silicon Valley, as far as I can think of. Are there any like CEOs that are programmers? Not sure, but I don't know why I'm talking about this. But there's lots of other things you could do. But I guess it's mostly about this little Chromecast icon and how to place it inside the application. And I guess it's
Yeah.
not complicated, but I don't know how
Yeah,
to do it.
a lot of little Chromecast feature, so that say when you're using the app, you could mirror the app on your big TV? You think there'll be a lot of apps mirrored on the TV?
Yeah, pretty much any application can be mirrored to the TV. But what is also interesting about this is, you know, the guy in charge of Chrome is the same guy that's in charge of Android. And what I think this also means is that the Chromecast is not just running Chrome OS. I think it's also kind of running Android applications. So what I'm guessing here, but I'm thinking that if you have a really cool game, Android game, of course it has to be able to run on the Chromecast device. So that means the Android application has to run on the Chromecast device. And I'm pretty sure that's happening. So that basically means that Chromebooks and Chromeboxes and also the Chrome browser might pretty soon get Android app support also. So basically it's the whole idea of merging everything. I think this is merging everything. So I don't think Google is talking about it yet, but you could imagine that every Android game is going to work through the Chromecast. And every application that could make sense to have on your TV also should be able to just run locally on the little HDMI stick, because you don't really want to stream it over Wi-Fi. It's not as good as running it locally or running it from the cloud.
Would you say this is a true breakthrough in the terms of being a real game changer for the people who are trying to cut the cord from cable and get on to the set-top box era?
But it's funny because the guy in charge of the Chromecast, the guy on stage, is the same guy that was showing off the Google TV 2 years ago. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I could recognize him. It's the same guy, right? And
yeah, I think so, yeah.
So I don't know if it's fair to say that Google TV was a failure. Kind of. I guess you could say that. Because it was especially a failure because of Intel. That's my theory. Because everything you do with Intel is never going to work. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that, but I mean, there was Chromebooks before the Samsung Chromebook last year in October, and they were not very popular. There were slight, kind of small things. But as soon as Google used ARM in that Chromebook, basically it's the biggest selling laptop in the USA, especially on Amazon.com, since it got released. Every single day is #1 best-selling laptop.
What, the Pixel or the Chromebook?
The Samsung Chromebook from last year, the one for $249.
Yeah.
So now this is also an ARM-powered device, and I think this is the shift that Google needs to do, and everybody that's making set-top boxes is moving to making these sticks, HDMI sticks, which is amazing. It's like if you look inside the board, you have all the electronics on the tiny. I mean, it's just really amazing, and the price, the cost is so amazingly low. I mean, there are some HDMI sticks below $20 also in China. I even did a video last week where I showed a Miracast dongle that might be $8 or $10.
Who in China is making these things for Google? Do you know?
So I wouldn't know exactly which factory, but I think the processor is a Chinese ARM processor, the Rockchip 3188. I'm just guessing here, but I think that probably makes sense because it's the design of that SoC, system on chip, is probably easiest for Google to use in a mass production, because I think they're probably making millions right now of these because they know they're going to sell them. I mean, it's so cheap. So I hope so, because it's possible that Google doesn't even care to sell that many and this is just going to be out of stock. Google has done that before. You know, the Nexus 4, it was out of stock all the time, and it's because LG didn't like selling it so cheap. $299, it's too cheap, and LG was not making enough profit, so it was always out of stock.
Well, and even that new Nexus 7 that they released today is a pretty sweet price point for $269 for a Wi-Fi version, and it's got a full high def screen and everything. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty big breakthrough.
It's of course it's absolutely amazing. It's awesome. That screen is probably a fantastic. I look forward to seeing it. But even the Nexus 7 last year, Asus, I'm pretty sure, was being careful at making sure that the cheaper model is always out of stock, and they only have the more expensive one with more memory, because they make like $20 or $30 extra profit on the more expensive one. They might even make more than $30 extra profit because
the one for $269, that's right in the middle. The first thing is less memory, then more memory and Wi-Fi, and then they jump to LTE. I think it's like 350 or something like that.
Yeah, but because Asus has been kind of struggling with tablets before, and they got Google convinced them to basically go mass market and lower price. And 7-inch is my favorite tablet size. I've been using 7-inch tablets since 2006.
Right.
Because maybe not in some countries like in the USA where it's too hot, but in Europe and in northern part of the USA, I guess, you wear a jacket like half of the year, I guess, when you go outside because it's not too warm. And so it's perfect to have 7-inch tablet because you can take it in a jacket and you just have it. You don't need a bag. You just take it everywhere with you.
Yeah, I might be able to get it in my photographer's vest here. It'd be a stretch, but I'd have to have a bigger pocket than that. I'd have to get a different photo vest.
Yeah, but that's why I think 7-inch perfect.
Let me stop you here for a second and ask you, when you're not writing about these ARM chips and all that, what do you do for a day job? What's your regular job? Or do you have a job? Are you independently wealthy?
I'm just trying to somebody's joining?
No.
Yeah, I'm just trying to since 2004 just have Google advertising on my YouTube videos. Oh, you can answer the call if you want.
No, that's okay. We want to continue with the show.
So I'm not wealthy, but I'm able to travel to these conferences, which is pretty awesome. But I mean, there's some American bloggers, like if you go on The Verge and Gadget and all these sites, they make millions of dollars. So it's possible to blog and make enough money to live on. But
right.
So I mean, that's basically what I'm doing. I have these YouTube ads and a little bit more ads, a little bit around my website, and sometimes some conference organizer or some companies invite me to different conferences. Then I don't have to pay for the airplane. That's basically it.
So your day job is you work for yourself then?
Yeah. And
is that profitable enough for you?
Well, I'm not totally bankrupt, but I'm always near bankruptcy. But I mean, that's how it is. I guess. I guess Google could, with this Chromecast, maybe I can make more money soon because Google really needs to ramp up advertising revenue and monetization on YouTube because they're already doing a good job, but they can do so much more. Imagine if I do a video about a device and people can just click from their phone while they watch it on the TV to buy it. One click. Like I make a video about, let's say, an HDMI stick, or no, let's say a tablet or something that's available on Amazon or something. Google should automatically know it's available, and while you watch this video, it pops up on your phone and says, "Do you want to buy it?" And people should say yes. And when they say yes, I should get 4% commission. And if Google did that, I would automatically get maybe 10 times more money from my job, which is to post videos on the internet. And so that's just to show an example of how much already YouTube is huge. And it's just YouTube alone is the biggest website in the world, like in bandwidth, by far. It's like there were some articles recently that Google is 25% of the bandwidth on the internet. But I think it's possible that Google is even more than that. And most of that is YouTube, it's not Google.
This call. But I'm going to let you keep talking, okay?
Okay, please take it.
Just talk to the audience, and you can take this wherever you want while I take this call, okay?
Yeah, and that's what's amazing about Google is that all this bandwidth. It's possible that nobody's watching this, but hopefully somebody's going to watch it, and are watching it right now. But what's amazing is that Google is providing all this bandwidth for free. And you have to think of all the storage, all the hard drives, and all the cables, and all the power, and the servers that are running 24 hours, and not just in one place, because you need to have servers all around the world for this to work. So it's quite amazing, but I guess it's just mathematics, and Google is able to, and Google is the only one who's able to do this. So when you try to think about alternatives to YouTube, there's like Vimeo, but Vimeo is maybe 0.001% of YouTube in terms of bandwidth. And there's the French Dailymotion, but it might be 0.3% or 0.1% of YouTube bandwidth. Netflix is pretty big, but that's also, it's just clever American business people like buying bandwidth and selling it to a whole bunch of subscribers, which is pretty impressive. But I mean, there's nobody like YouTube able. You can just upload tens of gigabytes of videos to YouTube, and it's free, and it's just completely insanely amazing. Like all this storage, all this bandwidth for free. So, of course, it's wonderful that Google is doing it, but they need to get to the next level. I would like to give them money. I would like to give content makers money. Why is it not possible to click on your YouTube account and give you money? It should be included. Like Google should make it possible for people to support content creators. Like it should be a default feature right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I'm a content producer myself, and there has to be a way to make it worthwhile. Then there'll be greater and greater content, won't there?
Yeah, I'm a fan of this guy, Joe Hanson, his name is, and he has a YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is called, I forgot what it's called, but he's really funny, and he did this like kind of like a Kickstarter, the competitor, I forgot the name, Indiegogo,
yeah,
and he did an Indiegogo to collect $5,000 so he could travel to Sweden and Finland to make a few videos, and people like donated like. He doesn't have huge audience, but he has a big enough audience, so he just asks his viewers to give him money, and they do, and then he can travel wherever he wants. I mean, this is the first time he did that, but I think it's a great example of how you should just have, if you just have a few hundred followers, it should be already enough for you to do like basically they could buy equipment that you would need, or travel that you need, or pay for your food so you can concentrate on making a better video instead of having a real job, you know. And this is a very strange future we're getting into, but this is
Chromecast will change everything. Maybe Chromecast will make new models of monetization possible. It'll be a whole new arena for the app developers with the API for the iOS and the API for Android. And I think we're entering into a very interesting time for not only developers, but for people who want to enjoy content on a wider scale now, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And imagine watching YouTube video streaming and Netflix without advertising on your TV at all, but you could have advertising on your phone,
right,
or on your tablet.
Right.
Because there is space right here, and you don't care if there's relevant advertising. And basically, I think this is where Google is going to pop up some ads on your phone while you watch the videos. And what's good about that is that you can just click on the ad. You can buy. You might, if you click on, if it's a video ad, you might click it. If you agree, it's going to interrupt your video for a second and show you like the advertiser's video or something like that, and you can then resume back to your video. It's just going to be, it's also going to be very interesting to see how families and friends and stuff can kind of like collaborate on choosing what to watch. I had a very interesting experience with my father a couple months ago, where we watched videos for 12 hours the whole night, just streaming from YouTube. Like we watched jazz video and Woody Allen interviews and a whole bunch of, and he was really he thought it was cool, and And but the trick is, because all videos are already on YouTube, kind of, and there is good stuff for everybody on YouTube already. The trick is how to get it there without having to search too much, or we need, like, the recommendations engines, I think, are going to be kind of a trick, and I really hope that Google has them, like, just about to be ready. They already probably have some, but to have some perfect recommendations engines for this, for the Chromecast.
Great.
This is a trick.
Great.
And getting the right audience to this video, because it's not. I don't like the idea that people have to subscribe to you before you get an audience. If a video is good enough, you should get the audience automatically, and Google needs to figure out how to do that. And that's also on Google Plus. It shouldn't matter how many people circle you. It should just be about how good your content is, and Google can figure that out. Not just analyzing your content, but analyzing the ratings, like the +1s people do. As soon as Google really start to use the +1s for something, then Google Plus is gonna happen. Right now it's a little random what's going on here, and it's really by random. I saw your Hangout also, for example, and yeah, random is cool, but it would be nice if it was. You just knew that when you sat down by your Chromecast, that you know that you're going to be entertained every single time. And if you're in the mood for music, you can kind of switch over to music mode. And if you want news, you can switch over to news mode. If you want technology videos, you can switch over to that. And you can have different. If you want comedy, you switch over to that. And you might watch the comedians you like, and you might, if you want to watch some you don't like, then you just say, Google, show me stuff that I don't know, and they will be able to show you stuff that you don't know.
Well,
that's
speaking of random events, we've got Brad Chasenor here from the Tech Webcast at techwebcast.info, and Brad is quite the TiVo maven and expert on a lot of media things. And Brad, I'll just ask you if you have any questions for Nicholas today, or if you have any comments on this new Chromecast that just came out.
Well, I am getting one. Jennifer is getting one for me. I live over in Australia. I can't order one over here at the moment, but I am getting one from the US. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I love it. I reckon it's a great device, and it's going to work great with my phone and stuff. And I hope it's going to work on the iPad too. Is that correct, Nicholas?
Yeah, it works everywhere.
It'll work everywhere.
Good stuff. I can't wait to use it, mate. Especially Netflix. I use Netflix over here as well. I use a VPN. So that's a good way to AirPlay stuff from that to the Chrome thing, to the Chromecast.
Yeah, I think it took everyone by surprise. It may not have taken you by surprise, Nicholas, but I think it took a lot of people by surprise today. I think you probably saw it coming, didn't you?
I kind of hoped for it, but I was surprised too, because I was just expecting a Chromebook. I thought maybe you would get an upgrade for the Samsung Chromebook already, but I guess that's coming also, but not yet. That's going to be maybe a Samsung event or something else, But yeah, I was anticipating the Chrome OS on a stick, and Chrome OS on ARM. I've been talking about that for like 2-3 years. I mean, as soon as they launched Chrome OS, I was looking for Chrome on ARM, because that's what really makes Chrome OS popular. Because as long as it stays on Intel, it's too expensive. If you had to make a Chromecast device on Intel, it would not be possible. You cannot make that small device with Intel inside, and it would be $149. It would be bigger. It would be nobody. It wouldn't make sense at that price. People are gonna say, well, we want more than just streaming, But with ARM, you can customize, and you can say, let's limit it for something easy. This is what they're doing.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's a great new time, and hold on. So, you guys carry on. I'll be right back.
Okay. So I seen Nicholas. How are you, mate? Now listen, I would love to get you on my podcast, mate, to interview you. I've just checked out your blog, and I will love to interview you one day, mate.
Cool.
For free.
Yeah, I'm always free. That's the thing. On the internet, right. There's always time to do stuff.
All right, well, I added you on Google Plus, so Jacob's going to send you some information. He's the producer of the podcast, so he'll send you some information.
Cool.
and the time and stuff. So Jacob, is that okay with you, mate?
Hey, Jacob, what's up? Jacob
Jacob
is
may have audio issues, but anyway, let's wrap this up now. And I'm sure Brad would love to have you on his tech
Yeah,
webcast, wouldn't you, Brad?
Oh, definitely, mate. I'd love to have him on. I've seen his blog. I just mentioned him before. I'm going to get him on next week, maybe.
cool.
It's an excellent podcast, but we're going to wrap it up now. And I would like to do this again because I think that the new website, Chromecast.com, is going to do a series of podcasts about the Chromecast product, and we're going to delve into it more. And today is day one, so we don't know a whole lot. We're going to know a whole lot more in a few days, and
So,
maybe
Paul,
in a week or two we'll know a lot more than we know now. Go ahead,
Paul,
Brad.
So 2 questions. Now, you've got a Samsung S4 phone now.
Yeah, I do.
So you've moved from that. You moved from the iPhone to that phone.
No, I still have the iPhone. It's still activated. I have 2 phones now. I have the old iPhone and the new Samsung Active, which is waterproof.
Yep. Good
And
phone.
hopefully, I'll be seeing Chromecast on both these devices.
Yep. Did you order one? Paul?
I ordered 4 of them. I got in there before they closed the orders off today. Now it's closed off.
Good one. Where did you order yours from? Amazon or from the
Directly.
Play Store?
I couldn't get it on Amazon. Amazon didn't even know about it yet. So I got it direct off the Google store there.
Yeah, Jennifer Regigro, she ordered 2, and she's going to have it by the end of this month.
Yeah, around the 28th, I think, is when they're.
Yeah, the 28th,
28th, 30th, somewhere in there. So we will have more of these podcasts. I hope to get you back, Nicholas, and it's been great meeting you. And I look forward to meeting up with you again, both on the on-air podcast and off the on-air podcast. Maybe we can get together and cook up some startup ideas.
Cool.
This,
I've seen you before on the Google Plus. Is there any chance you would ship one over to London?
Well, let's talk about that off.
We talk about it off the air. Okay.
Let's not do business on the podcast.
Yeah.
But
I'll
I
pay
do have
$38
another website. I have another website I'm developing called pluspitch.com, and what we do there is somebody who has a great idea gets to meet an entrepreneur, meet a venture capitalist or an angel investor, and the result will possibly be an investment right on an on-air podcast. So it's a reality show for investors and inventors to meet up, possibly get funded, just like you would, say, on Indiegogo or on any of the other crowd sharing.
That sounds awesome. Imagine people sitting back in the sofa, like all the investors watching a live hangout through the Chromecast on their TV, and then on the phone you can decide how much you want to invest, how much stock you want to buy in the startup in real time. You can have all the. That's going to be awesome.
That's what we're going to do, and we'll talk about that more in an up and coming podcast. And so the 2 sites to tune into are Chromecast.com, that's number 1, which will be a series of podcasts about Chromecast, and the other one is the pluspitch.com, where the investors will meet up with the inventors and try to strike up deals. And maybe we'll have a theme. One of the themes of that we'll do a show just on Chromecast developers and API and investors who are interested in investing in their products. So that's something to look forward to. And look forward to meeting you all again. We're going to wrap it up today, and have a good day, and I'm going to end the broadcast right now.